Welcome to the Focal Insights Podcast Founder Hour edition, hosted by co-founder Joe Pawlak. Joe has been in the e-commerce industry for over 25 years. He grew and bootstrapped his own startup to a successful exit. Founder Hour episodes go behind the scenes to learn how some of the best e-commerce brands were founded, grown, and operated straight from the founders themselves. Founder Hour is brought to you by Focal Software, a new generation ERP and operation suite for e-commerce brands and third-party marketplace sellers. Focal was built with SMB brands and marketplace sellers in mind to help them grow profitably. Now let's welcome our host, Joe Pawlak.
Hello and welcome to the Focal E-commerce Insights Podcast, where we chat with e-commerce entrepreneurs about business, selling online, and how to overcome challenges for success. Today we have a very exciting guest, but before we get started, for listeners not familiar with the podcast or Focal Software is an e-commerce operations software and marketplace account management company. So if you need help growing your business profitably, be sure to stay tuned to future podcasts or feel free to reach out. Joining us today is Harpinder Kaur, who is the co-founder and vice president of Komal Herbals Inc., a company that manufactures and sells high quality, made in the USA, certified organic herbal products that are meant to bring balance to your life. Harpinder co-founded Komal Herbals in 2005. She is an Ayurveda expert and business leader with over 2 decades of experience in the natural products industry. She leads sales and strategic growth and brings authentic Ayurvedic formulations to the US market. Trained in Ayurveda, herbal identification, GMP, and FSMA compliance, has presented at conferences and educational forums, sharing her expertise on Ayurveda, herbs, and integrative wellness. Her company is the first and only company in the United States to manufacture a classic certified organic herbal jam called Chyawanprash. She has successfully expanded Komal Herbals' presence across national retailers and e-commerce platforms, driving consistent year-over-year growth, is selling products on multiple online marketplaces, direct to consumer, as well as business to business, and currently lives and works in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Harpinder, welcome to the podcast.
Thanks, Joe. Thanks for having me, and thanks for inviting me to be here.
Yes, of course. Now, we always start this podcast with getting what people like to call the origin story or your motivation for starting a business. But you've got a even more unique story because most of the people I talk to are native, I guess, to the United States, but you grew up in India all through your adult life and then moved to the United States. And then on top of that, you started a business. And those are, as we discussed before, absolutely massive changes. Just starting a business alone is a big change, but to switch industries and countries and then start a business, that must be quite a challenge. Why don't you talk us through that? How did we get here?
Joe, having grown up in India, where I was surrounded by ancient wisdom of wellness, we used to call it grandma's kitchen hacks back in the day. So the interest in alternative therapies was always there. I dabbled a bit in homeopathy, which is also an alternative therapy. But my major studies and work has always involved around pharmaceuticals and science. So before coming to USA, I was working in a pharmaceutical company where we were globally marketing antibiotics. I was traveling, I was selling antibiotics to companies like Glaxo and Pfizer and all those things. Now, there was a massive shift in me when I realized that these antibiotics which I'm selling are actually making people who make them more sick. So they don't respond well to those antibiotics anymore. They have to be given stronger and stronger. And that changed something in me. And then with my founder, another Hasmukh Parekh, we decided, who was also the owner of that company, that we should get out of this pharmaceutical and go into something which is more well-rounded approach, more natural, and which doesn't have the side effects. He's a US citizen. So we decided to start something in USA because he felt that there is a need for people to be educated and to be made aware that there is something available which doesn't have harsh side effects, which is natural, which may be even available in your kitchen. You just need to be educated about that. So in 2004, I came to USA. We decided to start a company having tried to get a bit of an idea about American culture, American way of life. So in 2005, we finally formed our company called Komal Herbals. And the idea was initially to bring products from India to USA and sell them, educate actually a lot. So we were giving advertisements in magazines, we were giving articles, we were exhibiting in holistic events, integrative wellness events, and meeting people like Bhakt Chopra, Dr. David Perlmutter, and that time when actually it was something like a new beginning in 2005. So that is how it started. And for me to be here in that era and to be working hard, like how you say, there's American phrase which said it started from my garage or from my basement. That's how we started, like bootstrapping, doing everything on our own, traveling, meeting experts, trying to understand how American life works, what will be that they need. And the first product, as you said, we started was Chyawanprash. It's a 5,000-year-old recipe which combines about 30 plus ingredients, and it's in a form of a jam. So we thought that's the easiest way of getting people to understand this ancient science from India, which we'll call Ayurveda, which means Ayur means life and Veda means science. So science of life, which has origins more than 5 or 7,000 years. So that's the first product we imported in 2005. Started sending out samples, giving it to people who will be interested in trying it, telling them about the benefits. And that's how the whole journey started. From there came other products in the form of tablets from India, getting them tested here, selling it into stores. And slowly and gradually, we were in all the major Whole Food stores on the East Coast in 2 years. And we were so lucky that we were picked up by all the national distributors of herbal food products in the USA in the very first year. So that was a testament that we are tapping at a gap which exists, and people are looking for options where they can have something better, something which is time tested in this area. And I think we were the second company which was selling Ayurvedic or Indian science products in USA. The first one is still there, but there was a huge gap. And after that, we have seen a massive growth in this industry, especially based on Indian herbal science. So that is how the journey started. So yes,
All right.
personal shift for me, but yes.
Yeah, I know that's it's so huge, the move, and then starting a business. It's hard to condense it into just a few minutes. I understand that. Starting companies is always going to be cash intensive too. So it sounds like you had a pharmaceutical career, so maybe you had some of your own money, because even moving is going to be expensive, right? And then you hit the ground here, and then you started traveling. Did you sell a company in India, or how were you able to kind of bootstrap it, or just out of curiosity, how did you fund it with all that kind of expensive stuff you were doing?
I also have a co-owner. This company is started by another co-owner called Hasmukh Parekh. He is a technocrat. He's a serial entrepreneur. So he is the purse for this bank for this
Okay,
company.
so you had an investor co-founder.
Investor co-founder. He's also part of the company. He's into everything, like me. So it's like two people sitting on the same chair. If I'm not there, he's taking care of things. If he's not there, then I'm taking care of things. So it's like a 50-50 partnership. But I call him that if I am the heart, he's the brain of the company. So that's how it goes. So without each other, this company would not have succeeded. So he's the one who invested in the company. He's the one who actually is a citizen. So he could create this whole legal structure for the company, because he has been running businesses for the last 35 years when we started this company. So we kind of piggybacked on his past experience of starting a company and running a business, but this was also a very new field for both of us. So it was a lot of learning, unlearning, and relearning a lot of stuff for us as we grew up. So investment came from in-house. We did not take any loan or any other investor. So it was him and me. I was putting my brain, whatever knowledge I had, and he was the one who was putting in on his investment into it.
Yeah, and it sounds like this is another important topic where when you're going to start a business, it sounds like you had a plan to begin with. So you didn't just come to America and then figure it out. You had a plan from the beginning and then executed on that plan.
We came with a plan that we have to start something by promoting the Indian science here, the Indian products here. It was only when I lived here for a few months that I realized what products will be more successful or more required, what kind of gap are we looking at. Then only we started growing our inventory or our SKUs, and started with one product, started importing that, and slowly and gradually our inventory increased. Um, to be very honest, we had no idea how we are going to distribute the products. We had no idea where we are going to sell these products. We only had a dream of selling the products to common American, having our product in every kitchen island. That was our dream, and that is still our dream, that everyone in USA should at least try this product once in their lifetime to understand that all herbs are not bitter. There are some herbs which products which can be sweet, they taste like jam, but still get you the benefits. That is our core dream. And we have done numerous experiments, numerous thrown out ideas actually into the marketplace for people to at least try that jam, the Chyawanprash jam, at least once. The funny story is when we started this journey in 2004 to 2005, if you remember, the Kind Bar, not the Kind Bar, Cliff Bar was a number one seller in 2004 and 5. Remember that everyone was talking about Cliff Bar. Oh, it's all natural. It has protein. So we thought, why not put our product, it's a jam, into the form of a candy bar? And it's convenient. So everyone can get one serving of our jam with that candy bar. So we developed a bar which had oats, which had whey protein in it, and it was baked with the jam in it. And each bar provided one serving. It was called as, herb all. The bar was called herb all, so that people know that it has herbs in it.
Mm-hmm.
It was in two flavor. One was just oatmeal, and the another one was with chocolate. So it was a great success. But then came the idea of having raw bars, nuts, granola, and all. So we
Mm-hmm.
had another product which was all raw, with nuts and seeds and dates, and again the same jam in it, which was called Khazana. So there were 5 flavors in it. And that actually took us to all the national outlets you could think of. It was doing so great that, yeah, and that is where I needed the investment, and my partner came in there. So we invested in the development, we invested in manufacturing, and we invested in distribution.
Yeah, you had some good timing there because I remember power bars, which were before Cliff Bars, and I actually was a competitive bike racer, and one of our sponsors was Cliff Bar. So it's funny you mentioned that because I've eaten thousands of those bars because we had so many for training.
It was Power Bar and Cliff Bar we were there at that
they
time.
were taking off, because people were looking for a candy bar convenience, but something that wasn't just junk.
Junk, yes, exactly.
Yeah. Okay. Now, one of the things you mentioned too, you knew you were going to start a business. You mentioned you had no idea how it was going to go. Now, when people start a business, there's typically a period there where they're on pins and needles. They don't know if they're going to succeed or not. And then you mentioned also that within a year or two, maybe you were in a lot of retail outlets. So how long did it take, just off the top of your head, to where you and your partner said, okay, we made it. This is going to work? Was it a year, two,
It was
3?
in 2 years, within 2 years. 2 years. That's what I'm saying. Like as you said, we can be considered someone who was at the right place at the right time. I vividly remember this because it was our first event. It was called Natural Product Expo East and Expo West. These are two events which happen annually, in one in the East Coast and one in the West Coast. It is one of the biggest event for natural food products and health food products in the world. I'm not kidding. It's insane. So we being on the East Coast, we decided, okay, we are too small, we are very new. So we decided to participate in the event which was happening in DC in 2005. I kid you not, our product was still in draft labels. We had dummy products on our counter. The bars that we were making, the herbal bars, were in stock silver packing, and the label was a stick-on label about the bar. Which bar is it? We bought U-line boxes, the white boxes, and created a display tray for our product, for our bars. And with that, we went to the event just to see how people react. So me and my partner, we were both us. There was no employee back then in 2000. We were just new. We were handing out the Chyawanprash jam on spoon to every passing person, whether they are co-exhibitors, whether they are anyone attending, or even they are the service people of the exhibition. Everyone was getting a spoonful of that jam there. We might have distributed about a dozen of the jam in 3 days period. And we were cutting the bars which were in the silver foil and sampling it out. The first distributor walks in. He says, I am from Tree of Life. We had no idea who is. We had no idea what this distribution company is. He says, I like your enthusiasm. I like what you're talking. And I like the product that you are sampling. So how about we talk after the event? This is my card. This is my direct number. Reach out to me after the event. I would love and love to talk to you. We were excited, at least someone, it's a distribution company. We only knew that. Then other retailers also came in. We went to them, and that was Tree of Life, which is now, I think, part of UNFI or another distribution company. We called him up after. He says, I have a whole apartment lined up for you to come and make a presentation. We flew to Florida to make a presentation to them. They picked us up right now, immediately, and our products were in all the major retail stores across the board in the very first year.
Yeah, that's
So,
amazing. And
so
it also,
by year two, we had more products in from India, and they said, we're picking up every product that you have. So
yeah,
that
and
was like, wow.
that's
This
fast.
was,
A lot of people, I hear more often 5 years for the point where you can say, okay, this business is going to make it. So 2 years is very impressive. But could you also touch on the concept of that trade shows, like where you went to? It's also a face-to-face interaction, which is different
yes.
than anything else. And I think it's, maybe after COVID, it got crushed a little bit, but now it's coming back, but it's still important. But I think that's where you get those big deals. What are your thoughts on that?
I totally agree with you, Joe, because in our lifetime, we don't do that anymore because now we are established and people know us. I think in our business lifetime so far, we have done more than 80 plus events, which are trade shows, which are conferences, medical conferences on alternative health. We have done public events. It is like mind, body, spirit kind of events where it is open to public and people are selling their stuff. It's not meant for education on buyer. But our idea was to reach out to the common man because they are the one who will go into the store and buy our products. Because in trade shows, you are only getting people who will be displaying our products for people to come and buy. But what about the consumer? If they is not educated about the benefits of the product, that such a product exists, what are the benefits? They will not going to reach out to the store, to the neighborhood health food stores and say, hey, do you have that or not? So our idea was like, go out as much as possible, reach out to as many as people, have this product in as many hands as possible. So there were years, I can tell you that we were doing about 15 events in a year,
Mhm.
which included trade shows, which included conferences, which included these local events, regional events as well. So they are cornerstone for any new business, any new idea to spread the word, to educate people. And especially in our industry, in the industry that we are in, health food, integrative health or wellness event, it is more about educating. I don't have to stand on a podium and talk about my product and the company. I can be at my table, at my booth, and talk to the final consumer and talk to them about the benefits of my product and why I'm doing that, whatever I'm doing. And I find that that one-on-one interaction with the consumer more effective because they remember you. They remember your enthusiasm. They remember if they have any question, they call you. And today also, I am the chief, I should call it customer service person in my company because I have people who have been with us or my consumers who have been with us for the past 20 years as well. They still call me. They have my direct number. They call me if they have any question or if they think that I may have some answers for them. So that is very important. You rightly said that trade shows, events, if you are in a consumer market, you have to be in front of your consumer.
Yeah, I agree. And I think that there's also, as much as possible, any new business should try to be place themselves as an expert at these events and try to get a little bit of a speaking thing, even if it's only in front of 10 people to just educate. And then, you've got the products as well, but you're not selling per se, you're just educating. And then, if somebody wants to talk about the products, you can do that as well.
Oh, believe when we started this company, I'm a product expert. Whatever we make, I'm the expert on that. But at the same time, I have to be also expert on the science on which these products are based, which is called Ayurveda. So I have a mentor in India. Every time I'll go back to India, I'll be with him for a few weeks. I'll study with him. I'll interact. Even now, if I have a problem, I'll call him up. He'll answer my questions. But that was not enough. So I had to sit down, open books, read it, study that science so that I am able to give the right advice or suggestion to the consumer who is calling me. Because a lot of the time when we have this kind of a business of a health and wellness business, people expect you to have answers for their common concerns. Hey, I'm having heartburn. What do you suggest? Do you have any herb for my aching knee or something? Or my kid is falling sick every time he goes to the school. So if you don't know your science, you will not be able to have answers for your consumers. And your consumers are the best advertisement for you because they tell you, hey, I called this company, they gave me an answer. Why don't you also call and get an answer for yourself? So for us, that has always been our belief that we are on East Coast and a lot of our consumers are on the West Coast and in Alaska and in Hawaii. So even at 9 p.m. or 10 p.m., if someone calls, we pick up the phone and we talk to them. Because after 4 p.m., our calls are transferred to our cell phones. So we are there irrespective of the time, even if it is a weekend, we have to be there for our consumers and know our subject really well.
Yeah, you have to be an expert. And also you touched on something that's very important for people starting businesses is you've got to have happy customers as soon as you possibly can. So that, like you said, you can say, don't take my word for it, talk to this person. They've been a customer for 3 months and they love what we're doing. They love our products. So that's very important as well.
Another feather in our cap in our journey has been, I don't know how many of your listeners know about this catalog company called Swanson Vitamins. They are one of the oldest vitamin sellers in the country. They started the catalog business for vitamins and minerals. It's, I think, almost 100 years old company based out of Dakotas. They collaborated with us to launch our products as a JV, joint venture. So we were the first Indian company, Indian-owned company, we should call, with which they collaborated and launched all herbal products on their catalog. It was a huge deal for us because they said they have never done this thing with any other company. So we got in another expert who went to their offices. We discussed all the products They made informational and educational videos about the products, about the ingredients and how they can be. So that was in 2006 and 7. And
Oh,
it
wow,
is
that was
like
still pretty early in the process too. And how
in the
did they find
process.
you? How did Swanson find you?
I think it was, they saw an ad in one of the magazine
Okay.
and they reached out to us. We had no idea what it is. Then we spoke to one of their buyer. He explained to us that, what their background is and how old the company is, and they stand for the quality. And that quality, because it's a catalog company. So there are a lot of people, a lot of brands who are selling on their catalog.
Mm-hmm.
And they have their own brand as well. So they said, how about if we do something together? And I said, okay, what are you looking for? And they said, oh, we like your XYZ product. They picked up 8 products. They said, we want to do that in our brand, but as a JV. So it will be your name will also be there on our brand. We thought about it. We said, why not? Because they have a wider reach than we have right now. And if that can get people to accept herbal products for their wellness, why not? They are, spending money. What we are only providing is the information and the knowledge base in the form of an expert who came and did the videos for them. And it was a very successful venture for about 5 years till there was a change in the FDA regulations. And that is when they decided that, okay, all these products, we are totally going to do it in our thing rather than doing a JV. We said, fine, that's okay. And the FDA regulations also meant to change a lot of stuff. So we had a lot of firsts in this industry, a lot of firsts.
Yeah, it sounds like it. And also when you talk about a catalog, that was in 2006, you said, right?
Mm-hmm.
So about that time, everybody was starting to get websites as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm curious, when e-commerce came into your view. I know you have a Shopify website now that's helping you, sell online direct.
Mm-hmm.
What about your e-commerce presence? How did that evolve since you've been?
Oh, that's an interesting twist there. Our first website was on Yahoo platform. Back in the day, Yahoo was something which was still there, and you could create a website on Yahoo if you knew a bit of
It
coding
was the
or manual.
biggest. It was the biggest in
It
the
was the
early
biggest, yes.
2000s. Yeah.
Yes, it was there. And uh, my partner's nephew, he's in IT. He helped us in developing that website. So all the pictures were taken in house to put up, by me on my small, camera, which we kind of had that rudimentary Adobe feature to, beautify it and put on that. That is our first website.
Photoshop.
Yeah. Photoshop was very new back then. It was very rudimentary then. So yeah, he helped us in that. He was our first non-official employee managing our website. So that was how it was done. Yahoo. Yes. Yahoo
Yeah.
was the first thing that we did. Yes. Uh, the orders would come in through that. A lot of PayPal was involved in taking the payments and all that stuff. So yes, that's how the learning started.
Yeah, and you also then evolved over many years in e-commerce. You now have, like we mentioned, a Shopify website, but you're also
Mhm.
selling on marketplaces, which you touched on, like Swanson as a catalog. Was that the actual paper catalog?
Yeah, it was actually a paper catalog back then. 7,
Yeah.
8.
So
Yeah, it
all
was
those
huge. Yeah, it is
all
still
those
there.
switched to online as well. But then stuff like Amazon came, but it's the same concept. You're using Swanson's reach to get your product out there more easily, and then
Mhm.
you're also selling on marketplaces. And it's the same thing. It's leveraging their reach, not so much as a joint venture, but in a sense it is.
It is there. Now with Amazon also, there is a interesting story. We were approached by Amazon when Amazon was still in Seattle, when Amazon used to buy its own products and sell it. It was not the Amazon that we know of now. So
Books.
it
They were
was,
selling
yeah,
books.
Wix, they had their own buyers and they would come to the events, the trade shows, and they'll pick up the products. And that is how we got an entry in Amazon. So we are actually grandfathered into Amazon's marketplace.
Wow.
So yeah, so it was like very funny. They will buy product from us in case quantities, sell it on their website, and they were like a wholesaler. So it was pretty interesting then. And when I tell people this story, they're like, really, Amazon used to do that? I said, yes, Amazon back in the day used to do that. They would buy themselves and sell it as a wholesaler.
Yeah, they were pretty scrappy way back
Mm-hmm.
when.
Yeah.
So you're on other marketplaces as well, and most of the time people get on Amazon, and then you can kind of cookie cutter that formula to say Walmart.com or Etsy or Fair, or
Yeah.
where else are you using to for online marketplaces?
These are the main stores, as you mentioned, Amazon, Etsy, Fair, Walmart. They are pretty big and decent right now to work with, and they are all trying to follow Amazon's blueprint when it comes to e-commerce. So now there are a lot of new entrants in the market. A lot of them are, if I'm not mistaken, like Temu, a Chinese
Mhm.
marketplace. They are also trying to get into American marketplace, and they will approach you for that. So yes, there are options, but we have to be careful in where we want to sell our products.
Yeah. Okay. How about besides selling online, more on your back end business side and operations, what tools have you found to help you successfully integrate with marketplaces and manage things like inventory and shipping, financials, general tools that because you've been in business for a while, there's usually a lot of hits and misses, right? Like you try to
Mm-hmm.
use one product and it doesn't really fit for what you're doing. So, do you have any tips for anyone on I guess we'd call it a tech stack?
See, we are still trying to understand a lot of these tech things. But when we started, it was very basic. Google, Microsoft Office and Excel, accounting software like QuickBooks, um, and
Spreadsheet?
spreadsheets. Yeah, spreadsheets are still the basics, because when you are managing inventory, QuickBooks is a very good tool to have on your side, because it's not only for accounts payable and receivable and other things, but it also integrates a lot of your online e-commerce sites with it. So that is one thing. But sheets are our saver right now, because we use a lot of our spreadsheets, and they are available to our different departments on Google Drive. So they can all share the data, whatever it is. So that helps us a lot. Shopify, again, is a very good tool in our arsenal right now, because it also helps us in understanding where our trajectory is going, what products are selling more, what inventory is moving more. So with the tools that they are bringing in every day is amazing. So we are not very much into, I should say, a lot of software. We like to keep it simple, so that anyone who walks into our office or starts to work with us doesn't have to have that learning curve a whole lot. So as it is a very industry where there's a lot of movement of the workforce, we have to keep it very simple. So yes, spreadsheets is our go-to for most operations.
All right. Well, when we talk about e-commerce, it's growing. So there's more and more demand. There's more and more. Right now, I think about 25% of every purchase worldwide is online. So that's
Correct.
going to grow as it becomes more convenient, both in the ordering and the payment side of it, and the
Yes.
delivery. What do you think for the future? Do you have anything in mind that's going to be things that you need to adopt or develop, or thoughts on the
As
future of e-commerce?
as far as e-commerce is concerned, you know, e-commerce site like Amazon, they open up the whole world for you, because you can be in Europe, you can be in Latin America, you can be in Canada, anywhere, or Australia as for that. And then there are other e-commerce apart from Amazon, like iHerb, which are also international. They ship your products internationally. So It is where you want to be, which model suits you, and which makes more financial sense to you. That is where a company like ours would like to go, because we are not um, how should I put it, a big player in this market. We are still evolving, we are still growing, and with ever changing scenario geopolitically, we have to understand that whether the products that we are trying to sell in global market are acceptable in other countries. Are we meeting their standards? Because this becomes like a regulated market for us. In USA also, herbal products are kind of regulated. They are not like pharmaceutical per se, but they are not like food also. So we are somewhere in between. So we are walking a very tight rope. So is in Europe, so is Australia, so is in Canada. So as far as e-commerce is concerned, yes, the options are many. Our next, I think, what we are planning to do is have something in Europe, because that is where we are very compatible with. We won't have to change any labels or do anything. We are ready to be there. As far as Canada is concerned, they have this label regulation that we have to have labels in French as well. The same thing. So that is a bit of a thing, and you have to like follow certain regulations. But yes, e-commerce can throw your products in any country you want right now, whether it's India, from where we are getting the raw material, or whether it is Australia, which is also heavily regulated. So
Yeah. Yeah, and
yeah.
you can easily sell anywhere. You do have some logistics with product as well. So do you, for some parts of the world, would you have to have a new warehouse?
Uh, with e-commerce sellers, no, you don't have to have. Like for FBA, you can in Amazon you have an FBA. They can ship
Mhm.
anywhere you want. I have also have their own warehousing, so I don't have to worry about that. So they can ship my product wherever their customers are based at. There are some other e-commerce. Yes, for that we may have to do a warehousing. In some countries, it's easier to have your own warehouse and ship it than to ship internationally. So that's another thing we are considering right now for some countries. But again, it is becoming very easy to be on an e-commerce marketplace these days, based on the software and the technology that's available.
Yeah, and even Amazon continues to expand, like Africa is a good example.
Yeah, it is. It is very, and another thing for a lot of small businesses like ours is that when you are dealing through an e-commerce marketplace, payments are another important part, because getting an order on your website where you are not sure about the source of the payment is a big problem.
Mhm.
But if you're working through these websites like Amazon or Walmart or Ayer, they take care of these regulatory issues on the financial side as well, because they have to be very compliant about all the laws, whether it is taxation or shipments or whatever it is. So for us,
Yeah.
initially, we had to face a lot of issues when we had our website on Yahoo. We'd get orders from a remote place in Europe, and we won't even know whether the payment method was legal or not, or whether it was something which was fraudulent. It was only when the bank will call us and say, "Oh, you received this payment, it's fraudulent. You shouldn't be honoring this order." That is the time when we'll know that, oh my God, these things can happen. So it is still prevalent, but these e-commerce sites reduce that risk.
Yeah, that's a great example of these marketplaces. They're expensive and they take a lot of fees. So you have to be very careful, like you said earlier, understand where your product works financially. So you've
Yeah.
got to have good margins, but they're also doing a lot for you. They're doing a lot of
Yes.
things that you're not having to pay for or to
No.
monitor or to have losses for bad payments. That's expensive too.
That's warehousing is expensive. If you are using a 3PL warehouse, you are paying a lot of fee for the storage and rackage and shipping your product. That is being taken care of by these e-commerce marketplaces.
It is. Okay, so let's switch gears now as we're kind of winding down the podcast. I have a new addition to the podcast that I call the speed round, which
Okay.
is which is just three questions for you to
Uh-huh.
think off the top of your head, and it's mostly um, a lot about advice for people that want to get into business.
Okay.
So let's start with the first question here is, if you had one piece of advice for anyone thinking of starting their own business, what would that be? And you can't use "don't do it," which is always the joke that entrepreneurism, starting a company is so difficult that don't even do it, but what's your big piece of advice for somebody that's thinking about starting their own business?
Do your homework and don't fear the unknown. You will get your answers. Meet the people, talk to people who are already in that field, in that sphere, or whatever you are, whether you're in tech, whether you're in products like I am. We spoke with everyone. So that my advice is, people are there to help you. Don't be afraid. Take the first step. If you have an idea, you will find people who will be ready to help you. So take that first step. Have a leap of faith and go and do it.
Yeah, great advice. And when you say do your homework, I think that goes hand in hand with have a plan, like we talked about earlier.
Yeah.
Okay, next question is, successful entrepreneurs often say that you need to surround yourself with good people and you need to have a little bit of luck as well. And we talked about that a little bit earlier as well. You've got a partner that you're very complementary to. You both work well together, and some luck as well with some of the relationships that you were able to get. So what are your thoughts on luck and having a good team around you?
They both are necessary, but at the same time, team comes first. It may not be your luck, it may be the luck of anyone on your team that can also work for you. Uh, if you have a team which can stand with you, which is understanding of your nature of work, and they help hold hands and work together with you, that is the most important thing. Because personally, what I feel and I understand is that your team becomes your family. So when you have a member or family members with you, working hand in hand with you, and they say the same dream, they understand your aspirations, you will never fail. Because as the word that we say, luck, it is also how you are, focusing your energies towards that. So that is more important, whether you want to call luck or whether you want to call as positive energy of the combined, that is what works for you.
Yeah, maybe always work to put yourself in a position to get lucky. And like you said, also, many times for companies, the luck part is hiring the correct person. Maybe somebody that you just thought would be a okay employee turns out to be a superstar that really helps bring your company along.
I'll also like to add here a bit of a caution. You might have to kiss a lot of toads to get your prince. So you might have to go through a lot of bad employees to get the right one. And when you find it, don't let them go. Keep
Yeah.
them.
Yeah, it's an unfortunate part of doing business is that you're going to have a lot of people that just don't work out, but you have to have people, you have to trust people, so you have to do it.
Yeah, we have people here with us who have been with us for forever, I should say. Some of them are here for 8 years, some of them are here for 10 years. In my partner's other business, we have employees with us who have been with us for 30 plus years. So the idea or the atmosphere in our company, in our business, is that it's a family thing. If you join us, you're becoming a part of the family. So when a person or the employee feels that he's not just another employee who's to be there to work and then out the door, they will not stick around. But when you show them that, no, we are trusting you for what you are or what you're bringing to the table, they would like to stick around, even if in the lows. We have employees who have seen the lowest of us, that when the business was not doing good during COVID, when things were changing, they stuck around. They stuck around with us, and that is what we think is our biggest asset that we have. It's not the building, it's not the machine, it's the assets, and that is what we feel.
Yeah, and that says a lot about a company and the leadership when you have people that have been there for 20 years. That's saying something about your company that's very positive. Okay, last question for you. If you had a magic wand to fix one thing that is holding you back or slowing you down, what would that one thing be that you would fix with a magic wand?
Oh, if I could do that, I would actually, I think, create better logistics, because a lot of our raw materials has to be imported and there's a lot of bottleneck there. So I would like to create some smoothness there. Uh, but other than that, I think I'm in a pretty decent shape. My ship is sailing pretty well.
All right. Well, you don't need a magic wand. That's also a good sign.
Yeah,
All right.
we
Well,
are.
thanks for sharing your story, Harpinder. As we wrap up here, why don't you talk a little bit more about your product real quick, your website, how people can find you or learn more about your company, your business.
To anyone who is going to listen to this podcast, I would encourage them to go on our website called komalherbals.com, KOMALHERBALS. We are the only manufacturers of Ayurvedic products in USA with certified organic ingredients. We have been in business since 2005, and we take pride in using premium products, premium raw material. We also have a lot of food products, personal care products. So if you have any question, you can always reach out to me through the website or through Joe, who might be sharing my information. Um, we take pride in making products which in small batches so that they retain their potency and retain their quality. So do check us out, and I'll be looking forward to questions and meeting a lot of people through this podcast.
All right. Well, with that, then we're going to wrap up today's podcast. Harpinder, thank you for sharing your experience with our listeners, and thanks to everyone listening and watching, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you, Joe. Thank you for having me. And if anyone has any questions about starting a company in wellness industry, I'll be happy to answer their questions.
Perfect.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you for listening to another episode of Focal Insights Podcast. If you like this episode, go ahead and hit the subscribe button so you can be alerted of new episodes. See you next time.